So these are easily the best New Balance I've seen this year. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sneaker Circle. It's your boy Danny back with another review. If you're new to the channel, I review pickups, I review recent releases when it comes to sneakers. We're going over the latest project between Joe Freshgoods and New Balance. So this collection is supposed to represent 5 years of working together between Joe Freshgoods and New Balance, 10 different collaborations resulting in 20 different shoes. It's quite the milestone, and I'm not gonna front. All his projects have been incredibly good, well done, and intricate in terms of storytelling and experiences. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these out the box, but before that, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, feel free to like the video, let me know what you know in the comments down below. Did you grab these? Did you pass on them? What are your reasonings? Is the pink too much for you? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's just get these straight out the box. So finally out the box, I went ahead of myself and I laced these the second they came in. So the second they touched ground, I laced, because I'm gonna try my lace options on these. You got quite the plethora of lace options to pick from. You got this original like off-white, it's like a pink, pale peach almost. And then you got this like olive that I really like leaned towards. So I'm trying different ones out. There are others right here in this bundle. I just wanted to address that before we get into this review fully. Pretty nice. So this is Joe's second pair of 992s. His first pair of 992s, arguably one of his best collaborations yet. Also the most limited. It was New Balance and Joe Freshgoods really taking a shot at this collaboration stuff. It was exclusive to Chicago. They are easily one of my favorite sneakers to exist. But unfortunately for me, they're like a $2,000 shoe right now, $2,000, $3,000. Having these in hand kind of satiates that want for them, but at the same time just makes me want to grab them even more. So this is what seems to be his biggest release yet, the project with the most pairs. This is honoring that first version. He's probably had this in mind forever, which is why we've never really seen a lot of mentions of his first pair or, you know, re-releasing that specific colorway. So the color blocking on these is exactly the same as the pair from 2020. Everything is just toned down or shifted down in color palettes. And the name of the sneaker being aged well, it just seems like that sneaker was just aged, and over time you would get this. But I do think there's a little bit more to that than just grabbing that color palette and toning it down or aging it. So this being that 992's spiritual successor, it's, first off, its color palette, amazing. If you're not someone who's sensitive to pink, these are right on your radar. And normally when you think of aging, you think of just adding a ton of yellow, all the things that come with life. And I feel like this takes a different approach at aging. So the aged well 992s feature an incredible pigskin nubuck, something you used to see in a lot of ASICS collaborations and New Balance collaborations back in the day. I don't know if New Balance does it as much these days. It's always really nice to see. It's like one of the best suedes you can have on a sneaker, but it is incredibly prone to fading. I will tell you that over time. The first pair was also pigskin suede from what I've read online, and that one has a tendency to fade. So is this just that pair faded down over time? So on the sneaker, you have different hues. They match the same exact color blocking as the first 992. You have this suede right here that's featured on different parts of the heel, the toe cap, and where the laces stay right here, followed by hits of leather. Now this is like a full grain leather, so this leather is incredibly nice. That's featured on the tongue itself, the very front, and right here on the back. Then you're presented two more colors of suede. So right here on the mid of the shoe, you have a lighter suede, which again matches perfectly with the previous model. And then you have a slightly darker version right here. And what I like normally when you get 992s, this part's usually like a synthetic material. It could usually be a 3M, it could usually just be like a synthetic leather. Having a suede here kind of like loosens the shoe up a little on foot, in my opinion. And then on the back over here, on the first pair, it actually was a pair, it was 3M from what I've seen, and now it's been replaced with leather, which leather will stand the test of time. Usually synthetic materials don't. And then right here you have Joe Freshgoods. On normal 992s, you usually have the USA symbol there. And then taking a look at the tongue, another place where you would see like 992 or USA, you have Joe Freshgoods. But you do have on the right shoe USA, and on the left shoe 992. So because I'm a fat boy, the first thing I saw when I saw these in person is it reminds me of dry aged beef. Usually when you grab like a ribeye or a good piece of steak and you dry age it, the top of it becomes a little more pink versus that vibrant red. And with the dry aging process, you usually cut the very top to get the meat on the bottom. So you sacrifice a bit to like enrich the rest. So a quick little detail I'd like to point out is this whole shoe is supposed to represent aging well, and the leather actually doesn't get lighter with the rest of the shoe. The leather, if you look right here, it actually gets a bit darker. So when you look at the original 992s, that leather is actually a bit lighter, and it's because good leather usually undergoes this patina effect. The oils from your skin kind of cause it to darken, and that's that end result. So right here, all the details of the leather being a bit darker is, again, an incredibly nice touch. And I'm really happy because low-key 992s are one of the best New Balance models you could get. For a performance sneaker, they don't fit too tight. They actually are a bit roomier in terms of sizing and in terms of the way your foot sits into the shoe. So usually performance sneakers are a little more snug. They're a little more etched onto your foot. 992s have a tendency to be a little more wide friendly. That being said, if you do like snugger fitting shoes, you might want to size half down in these. I went true to size. I love 10.5 when it comes to 992s. And these are shoes I could just wear all day. So looking at other aspects of the shoe, I do feel like it pays homage to the original pair because it does give you this like powder blue lace right here. So this would be that powder blue. And then it does give you a pretty weird version of that like pale white with like splotches on it. Again, the fat boy in me is just saying it just reminds me of aged beef. That's crazy. Those are crazy takes, Danny. The olive being the only thing that's like slightly different. I love the color olive, so I felt like throwing these on was like no question. You look at the sole, it's the only hint of olive on the entire sneaker. And then the one piece that kind of has a lot of people stumped is this. This is the insole. Nobody really knows what it's supposed to be. Again, I just instantly go to food for some reason. I just instantly think of a piece of meat that's been aged, because usually in the dry aging process, the whites of like the fat content of steaks have a tendency to turn a bit yellow. That's what I see in this. A lot of people have been seeing scales, goldfish. I can kind of see that too. This part grosses me out, so I'm gonna forget it exists, and I'm gonna put that right back into the sneaker. All right, so all in all, this could easily be one of the best sneakers of this year. Has great story, has great meaning. It's incredible in hand, and I feel like people who don't like them are just weak to the color pink. And I do feel like that aged well theme hits on so many fronts. because you look at all his past New Balance collaborations, some have been used to introduce models or reintroduce New Balance models. So like the New Balance 1000s, the New Balance 9060s, the inside voices. Those two versions of his sneakers or of his New Balances are the best versions that have released, in my opinion at least. So I think I'll just end this video saying, grab these while you can. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these on feet. I usually have a rule that like when I get new sneakers in, I'm gonna wait a couple months before I actually wear them. I think I'm gonna break that rule for these. These are probably gonna go on feet for the rest of today. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking me out, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.